26. First on the agenda is a call to order. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, great. Next is the approval of meeting minutes for the meeting February 4th, 2026.
So moved.
Second? So seconded, all in favor? Aye. Amazing. Next, we get into the applications for board review. First, we have HARB 2026-04, 334 Luella Avenue, an outdoor pavilion structure with a fireplace. If you'd like to come up and show us your presentation, you can lay out any plans or materials on the table here. It'll be broadcast. And tell us about your project, focusing on those items that are, most visible from the outside.
Are you guys putting anything up that I presented to you, or just lay everything here?
Say that again?
I said, is it best just for me to lay everything here? Because I know we dropped a couple copies off for you guys.
Just you can lay it there and then just kind of go through what you feel is most important. We can ask questions, et cetera. Yep.
Okay, great. Let me just put this a little bit over here. All right. So what we're looking to do in the rear of 334 Luella Ave is put a covered pavilion with a fireplace. I did put some pictures up here to, just kind of give the layout from what the neighbor's view are, but what the client wants to do is just have a nice little covered space. We have designed everything so you don't see anything from the road. You're not going to see any structure from the road. It's just a 14 by 14 pavilion. They're going to have a TV underneath, just a gathering space out back, and super simple. We are matching the exterior of the house. I do have right here, these are some stone samples up against the existing house. So the construction is designed to match the house and match the exterior of the garage in the rear. So pretty simple.
Okay. I don't have any questions on this one, but if any of my colleagues do.
Was it open on all four sides?
Yes.
Okay. No questions.
Okay. Do I have a motion for a certificate of appropriateness?
You want to give one? I move we have a certificate of appropriateness.
Second.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, great. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. You have your certificate of appropriateness. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for using the right stone.
Yeah, we always like that. Great.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we have HARB 2026-05, 420 St. David's Road, enclosing a covered porch and turning it into a conservatory. Welcome back.
I'm back. So this project, as you said, is enclosing an existing side porch and putting glass around it. So the house is at the corner of St. David's and Orchard Way. So here's the front of the house, and then this is the side porch that we want to enclose with glass. Here are some pictures of the existing house. This is the side porch. So we'd be keeping the same roof, the same columns, and then we'd still have the steps off the back into the backyard. So here's another view of it. Again, we're trying to keep the columns as they are, and then keep the same stone. And then other parts that we'd be matching on the sun porch are we're doing a little fireplace in there, so the chimney would match the existing brick on the existing chimney. And then, yeah, so the front porch remains intact, and then they have a rear porch that would also remain open as it currently is.
So is the middle top view from
This is-
Orchard?
Yep, it's from the intersection of Orchard and St. David's.
So St. David's would be to the right and Orchard is what you're standing on
Yeah,
when you took
so
the picture?
St. David's is here, Orchard is this way.
Okay.
Just some surrounding context. Obviously, there's a lot of houses with porches, and, you know, this one, which is across the street on St. David's, has kind of that enclosed porch look to it. So basically, we just have divided lights, French doors on the rear, and then floor-to-ceiling windows across here. Here are the existing posts, the existing stone remains. And then here's just a rendering of it in place.
Great, thank you. From my perspective, I don't have any issues with the proposal. I actually think that enclosing the porch adds it, a little bit more gravitas to it. I think it actually makes it a little bit more appropriate as a sort of addition to the side of the house.
I like the use of the divided light windows, that's great.
Mhm.
Is the intent of the color to match the other windows around the house?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's very appropriate for the scale and the size, yeah.
Motion for a certificate of appropriateness?
I second.
Great. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay. Next on our agenda, we have HARB 2026-06, 234 East Beech Tree Lane. We have a garage addition.
Hey, I'm Joe Worthington, Worthington Design. Little background on this project. This is a house designed by Horace Trumbauer, built about, it was 1887, 88. What we're attempting to do here is put a garage on this house, or a carriage house, we're calling it, where it has none. The belief is we have a map from the original subdivision that had a carriage house, but the property has since been subdivided and it's no longer within the property line. So we're up against some hardships here as far as the setbacks go, being that the house is on the corner of Radnor Road and Peachtree Lane. It's got 2 front yards, so it leaves us well, really very few opportunities to do this garage. It was originally intended to be a detached garage as an accessory structure, but because of the 2 front yards, we're not able to accomplish that. So what we have is the need to keep the garage within the building envelope and to have it attached. So
Sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
So are you saying you have to have it attached?
yes.
And why is that?
The zoning code reads that if there's an addition or a garage within the primary building envelope, it's all going to be one. It has to be attached to the house.
And the building envelope is defined, as a radius around the main mass itself?
Exactly, yeah. It's different dimensions for the front yards, side yards, rear yards.
So the Beechtree Street, the address is Radnor Street Road, correct?
Right.
So the side yard is not really a front yard, it's a side yard. So the setback on a side yard would be different than a front yard, wouldn't it?
The setback on a side yard is different than a front yard, but because it's on the corner, both Beech Tree and Radnor Road are front yards, and we have to conform to front yard setbacks on both of those.
Okay, and so, in terms of where it's being plotted right now,
Yeah.
so you cannot move it any closer to Beech Tree?
Or moving it closer to Beech Tree would require the connector to extend. 'Cause it has to be connected to the house.
What I'm getting at, so one of the issues that I have with it is the connector, because you don't have other connected garages in the area. So where I'm going with this is, I'm trying to think if you can move it closer to Beech Tree, get it outside of the primary building envelope,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't have to be connected.
Sure.
It sounds like, is that not a possibility?
It's not, because you're not able to put a accessory structure within a front yard setback.
Within
Yeah.
because it's a front yard?
Yeah. So that would have been an ideal situation, and we certainly researched it and came to a dead end on that one.
So from a historical maintenance perspective, it would look better for the neighborhood and all of the other houses that have the detached garage if you would be able to get a variance from the township for creating that as the side yard, not as two front yards. Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
The variance would have to be to allow a detached garage, an accessory structure in a front yard.
Or declare that a side yard?
Well, there's
Yeah.
no way that could be declared a side yard.
Yeah, so.
If I could just give you, I don't think you'll get, you can have a property where it's two front yards, and that's just, unfortunately, that's what you have. So
Yeah.
I believe you're correct. You know,
Okay.
You're not going to get relief where they'll say, where the zoning board's gonna say, well, we're gonna treat this as a side yard.
But there's no way to get sort of the ability to have an accessory structure in a front yard variance?
I'll never say never.
But it
But
sounds like it's uphill.
Historically, I don't see that, and have not experienced that occurring when you have this, when you have a corner lot situation like this, where you have the two front yards. So I see why the approach has been this way, you know, to connect, the physical connection to the primary structure was almost as like a forced hand.
Okay.
So we're doing the minimal we can to attach it to the primary structure. We're actually, the only thing we're changing about that Beech Tree Lane facade is we're moving a window and putting the door in there instead. Let me, if I can't. So right there, that's the door, and we're talking about right there is where that would be. So, you know, instead of connecting it with an enclosed breezeway, doing a mudroom or something in there, we're really just trying to be as minimal as possible to appease the zoning code, which requires it to be
Yeah.
attached. And then, as far as that goes, when, you know, when I first looked at this thing design-wise, you know, this was speaking to me. You know, as far as a true carriage house goes, you're looking at something that's probably got a hayloft in it and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I like the idea of doing the gambrel roof and fitting in with the shingle style and whatnot. But then the more that I explored that, two reasons really why I didn't go that route. First of all, it would just kind of draw attention to itself. We're creating a mass here that's it's not necessary, and does it help things? I don't believe so. And secondly, the homeowner doesn't need a massive loft above their garage. So that's what drove the idea of going with the minimalist as far as the matching those side roof pitches right there. And then generally, the idea is to match every material and every bit of it to a T. We're building with wood, we're building with shingles. Everything that's on that existing house right now, that's the idea that we're going to match that. Paint, there's exposed rafter tails. So really the idea is that it's going to look like it's the same, it was built at the same time as the original structure.
Can I comment real quick about
Please.
the material of the facade? I think like you have this horizontality of the brick of the house from Trumbauer, and when you see all this shingle in this like side structure, it's gonna struck you. I feel like it would be more appropriate if it's closer to that brick material. I don't know what the others think about that.
Yeah.
As opposed to the second and third stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, so it's funny that, first we, talked about the connection, the breezeway. That was the first issue that I had.
Sure.
And then we talked about the roof pitch. That was sort of the second issue that I had. I'm thinking about, since the front of the garage is oriented towards Radnor, all of the roof pitches on Radnor are quite steep, like is typical on the Victorian home from that era. And I feel like the sort of low slope, because the other piece that's visible from Beach Street, that's an addition, I assume, rather than being original. And so that would, you're mimicking something that at some point was maybe done out of character with the original home, rather than, in character with the original, more Victorian style design. So I would support the initial approach of either doing a steeper or a gambrel roof, again, just so that when it's visible from Radnor, it looks more sympathetic with the roof slopes of the sort of original mass of the home. Still trying to think about the breezeway thing. I don't really know what to do about that, but I don't know what others think about the roof
Well, the
pitch or the
roof-
roof style.
The roof pitch is going to match the pitch of the side
Right.
of
It's
the
the mid-
building that has a lower pitch, and it's also going to match the pitch of the portico, that the drive-through. So based on those three
Okay.
smaller
So you
roofs,
think-
that
okay.
smaller roof
I agree.
does mimic the pitches of those two. So I
That's true.
think
The
that would be
drive.
okay.
Okay, so you think, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point about the drive-through portico. I was more keying it off of
But I think the
back
mimicking
addition.
the lower level structure or side materials for first floor being brick, and then the wood structure and siding after that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you can mimic the brick.
Yeah, I imagine we probably want to do it with a veneer rather than actually building a brick wall there.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be tricky to identically match that brick,
Yeah,
but we
it's
can
a
get.
30-mile-an-hour or 25-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
drive-by brick, as opposed to standing next to it and touching it,
Yeah, close in color.
as my daughter says.
Yeah, so a thin brick on let's say the first floor walls, and then a shingle in the gable.
Gable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thin brick, I'm trying to understand thin brick where, that entire side?
So it would be on the rectangle right here,
Yeah.
here,
Exactly.
Yep.
and then, so just here.
Yeah, to match the brickwork on the
Here
first
would
floor of
be-
the
would be
existing home.
shingle.
So my only concern is matching the brick that's existing. That it's gonna look like an addition, that's not perfectly brick, I imagine it's tough.
I mean, it's going to look like an addition,
Yeah.
no matter what. It's going to look like an appendage, regardless.
As the weather. Yeah, how about the lower level, we talked about the first 3 feet of the structure, below the front windows you did, I don't know.
Sort of matches the stone of the house.
That's the stone of the house.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about a wall of brick. Again, I agree with as it weathers, but I'm just worried about it sticking out.
I think it'll look good with what Monica said. with
Yeah.
what we've been describing.
Yeah. And maybe actually, I don't want to table materiality because it is important, but I want to talk about the sort of attached nature and the breezeway. I don't know what others think. I understand the issue, but it's also inconsistent stylistically. I think it would look out of place personally, again, based on the,
We have the left side to the carport, which is, I don't say that's a breezeway, but somewhat matches the traveling.
yeah, but those don't attach to any structure, they're simply, an overhang. But anyway, I would love to get other folks' opinion on that. I might be alone here, so.
I don't know what you can do about it,
Yeah.
what can be done about it.
Well, we did have an enclosed mudroom on the first design.
If you look
Oh, I
to the
see.
left of the main gable, the roof line on that addition is also low.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it kind of mirrors the roof line of the other side of the house that's probably out of setback with the subdivided property that's next to it. And that doesn't really show on the view that we have here on the bottom.
Yeah, our goal was to not take away from the attention of the main house with this garage addition. We'd love to do a detached garage, but, since our, I don't say our hands are tied from a variance perspective, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
And the other part of the breezeway, just so you know, was, for us, just with 4 kids, the connectivity, that side yard and backyard. We've got a swing set back there, kids run around, so just made more sense for us from a flow perspective, not that that matters to this guy.
And from the design of if the drawings to scale somewhat, from Radnor Street Road, you won't see the attachment because it will be behind the curved outcropping
Right.
of
Yeah.
the front of the house.
You're on.
Yeah, you wouldn't be
And
able
you
to-
won't
That's
see it
true.
from,
That's
you
true.
won't see it from Beach Street because it will be behind the garage.
Exactly.
So really, visibility-wise, that attachment doesn't really cause a lot of
Issues, yeah.
Okay.
observation.
You can see it, Joe's design on the top left, it's completely blocked by that single-story structure that juts out here from front.
Yes.
Yeah.
The music room. Is that the music room?
Dining room now.
Dining room now.
Instead of the house.
So I think we're pretty good, except for, you're not mimicking the stone of the other side of the round dining room,
Yeah.
and you're not mimicking the brick of the dining room at all. And if that was possible, that would make it look like it was put on basically at the same time as the rest of the structure historically,
Yes.
and kind of flow with the neighborhood. As most of the houses down that end of the street have the stone or brick, and then whatever material consistently around the outside of the first floor.
Right. I'm just thinking if you try to mirror, like, you're looking at the design from the stone foundation, if you mirror that on the addition,
You're not,
right? And then I'm thinking about the brick, I guess, what you're suggesting.
I mean, I think if you mirror the stone, then you have the ability to say, okay, we've sided over the brick and put, some of the houses have aluminum siding, but they still have the stone. They're not mirroring the same brick and shingle. So, and there's lots of evidence of those houses in the neighborhood as well. You know what I mean, Constantine?
Yeah.
So if you mimic the stone of the original house, you'll give it the taste of what was there before, if it was there before, or it could have been there before, and then they've just redone it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna look more
it'll feel
cohesive.
closer to an attached
Yeah.
structure, which I think actually would be more appropriate in this case. I see your point around the visibility, I guess, lack of visibility of the breezeway from,
It's almost like an
But-
underground tunnel from a visual standpoint.
okay. Scratch that, but okay. Understood, yeah.
It'd be below the water line, but that's okay.
And we could do it attached, because we're well within the built, but again, for us, we don't want to necessarily disturb much of the house, and keep that brick and original stone down, not the actual.
Yeah, I don't think it would, I think enclosing the breezeway as designed, I don't think that would necessarily make any difference.
So I like the idea of doing the stone, as the, like the water table of stone,
Mhm.
and then moving that to the shingle. Or are you good with that idea and omitting the brick?
What's the problem with the brick?
Yeah.
Again, I just worry about we live old homes, came from a similar age house in South Wayne. I get worried about you doing an entire first story of brick, it's just gonna pop and not match the rest of the house. I don't wanna take any attention away from the entire house. That was our whole goal. So
I feel like you're gonna take away from the entire house if you have that in shingle. I feel like there's a way to match that color or get it like close enough.
if we did the stone and shingle, I know we're negotiating that now. Because the back of the house, there is all shingle, there isn't this. You
Yeah,
don't see the back of
but
the
you
house.
can't see the back of the house. It's just, you're gonna see this shingle building in front of it.
I mean, I would prefer, again, to do the stone, I agree with that. Maybe we do some features of brick somewhere to try to match. I just worry
Joe-
about the wall.
Joe, how high could you bring the stone up?
You know, I think I could bring it up as high as the sill there in the music room. You know, that might work to bring it up to whatever level that is, rather than just being the
Just
foundation.
looking at it as if there was a height where it came up, where it was a
Yeah.
strong enough presence
I mean,
How about the
I think
limit-
it's, I
to,
think it's,
strong
to,
enough
to
on the-
give you,
yeah.
to give you the connection.
Mhm.
You
And
know.
then the shingles would be relatively smaller and be less of a pop of shingle. It'd be more of an accent of shingle with
Okay.
stone being the main,
I don't, I don't,
the
I don't
main
think
melody.
that's the issue. I think the point is around, you have this addition that is, you know, very slightly overlapping with the mass of the home, and I think it would make more sense if you read materiality linearly across horizontally, stone
Yeah.
to stone, brick to brick, shingle to shingle. Right, and that's affecting that's the view from Beech Street, right? It's not gonna really impact the view from
From Radnor,
Radnor, but that way it looks like, because we're trying to get this appendage to look more like an addition that's been there for a while, right? And I think if you have these sort of consistent striations of material across, that would help significantly with that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think, the view.
The only thing
Yeah,
I would
that's
add,
exactly
too,
what I'm
is
thinking.
The front of the house, there's minimal brick on the first floor. You've got the stone, and then it's stucco around the front door, and then you got the
Mhm.
shingle on the second floor, just
Yeah.
for what that's worth. But-
No, I understand, but I think we're trying to maintain the materiality of the facade from Beech Street, just consistency left to right.
I worry about the matching. I just think it's gonna pop, and then I'm gonna say, oh my God, it's a
Yeah. I think to my colleague's point, it would probably, I understand the worry about getting the exact match, but it would be more, it would match even less if it was shingle against a backdrop of brick. So this would get it closer.
And you would say the back of it too, you can match that as well, the back and the side, right?
I don't care about the back.
Yeah, I feel
But,
like,
I mean, it makes sense,
It makes
just wrap it around.
yeah, it makes sense to wrap it around. I agree. But it's like that Beach Street,
I think it's
that's the
doable to
most
match it. I
important.
mean, there's so many options out there
Yeah.
with brick. You know, it's an unusual coursing too. I think it's called a Flemish bond that has a short
It
and a
has
long
a
and
short one,
and
a long one, and a black
Yeah.
one. Is it?
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah.
one with the dark one in there? So you have a dark short and then a long one, and
Yeah.
you don't have that.
Yeah, I know I've been really impressed by what, you know, some masons are doing with matching old to new. So I don't have a huge concern about matching that brick. It does make things twice as difficult if we're matching stone and brick. You know, now we've got to come up with the two of them. And the stone, the stone might be more difficult because it's not just a manufactured product. We have to locate that same stone, which might be very plentiful. But in this case, you know, oftentimes we rework stone, but we're taking part of the building down somewhere, so we've got stone to take from. You know, if it's got to be the stone foundation level, I'm sure they could work that out.
So how high is the stone coming up
Just based
Taken
on,
to the windowsill or just part way?
nah, just
No,
to,
just a couple feet.
I think the same
Yeah,
height
that's good
underneath
with
the
me.
window of the round, he was
Yeah.
gonna match the height, it may not be the mass of stone in the front of the house on the dining room is taller than the mass of stone on the entryway at the back of the
Yeah.
Yeah, I
original
would-
addition. So
wouldn't-
it would match the same level of stone, I think, Dave, to your point.
Match it, which part is it matching?
The
All
rear.
the way horizontally, because the ground slopes down at the front, to
Yeah,
the
okay.
front of the
Yeah,
house.
so it would just be that minimal
It'd be a
strip
minimal strip
of
That's
stone.
fine.
I mean, scale-wise, we're really talking about this
Right.
Yeah,
right there, you know, stone, brick,
yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Yep, perfect.
I was using my
Thank
pointer.
you.
I could use my finger.
Okay.
You could use the pointer.
I got the pointer, let me use the pointer.
You want to point something out? Just, we've got a few minutes now. Okay. So I,
Is that like a conditional kind of thing?
so that would be a conditional. I think my other reservations have been overcome, thanks to my colleagues. Not like I matter anyway. Okay, so.
We're a team.
Do I have a motion for a certificate of appropriateness conditional on maintaining the stone, brick, cedar material composition of the beech tree facade? Does someone say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And then do I have a second?
Second.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I hope you can match it.
Your confidence is what's sold.
Just take it from here.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're not done. We have business. Great. Before we adjourn, the next HARB meeting is scheduled for May 6 at 6:30 PM. Applications must be submitted on or before April 21st. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded. So moved. We are adjourned. Thank you all.